This episode is brought to you by Bleacher Report. How do you follow sports? From college football to the NBA, Bleacher Report brings you the latest news, live scores, and epic highlights from your favorite leagues, teams, and athletes, all in one app. Dive into exclusive shows hosted by your favorite athletes and original Bleacher Report series with breaking news, rumors, and predictions all season long. Download Bleacher Report to personalize your coverage.
Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, FDA approved for over 20 years. So, talk to your specialist to see if Botox Cosmetic is right for you.
For full prescribing information, including boxed warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
Remember to ask for Botox Cosmetic by name. To see for yourself and learn more, visit BotoxCosmetic.com. That's BotoxCosmetic.com.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file. Abbott Diabetes Care. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Bears lose their 9th consecutive game, get swept by the Detroit Lions, and Christmas is 2 days away. Tiff, Q, let's review the latest Bears game. Bears lose 31-17. I think you hit that number, that total straight on the head. Or the final score, rather. I think you hit the final score right on the head from our preview show.
We always close to that 31-23, something like that.
Close enough. You all got any fun plans for the holidays? You want to enjoy some football? Hopefully cheering on a fantasy football championship, perhaps?
No, I'll be watching basketball. Christmas is for basketball.
I'm out of
Thanksgiving is for football. Christmas is for basketball.
I'm not really feeling Wednesday games either. I got to agree with Tiff, but I'm going to be watching them, though. If it's football or basketball on TV, go on football. Sorry, NBA. Ratings will continue to drop.
Already signed their. I don't know why people keep saying that. Like that's a real talking point. They literally just re-signed all their network deals. Like the NBA don't care if y'all watching or not watching, but that's all. That's all people.
I just want to see if I get somebody in a rant over that. That's all. I don't care what the NBA is doing.
Wish people to stop being stupid and stop running with these narratives that make no sense.
Exactly, because guess what? People just streaming them games. Nobody's not watching NBA games all of a sudden. It's still right up there, right behind football is most popular. So,
well, if you're in Chicago, you're not watching Bulls games, unfortunately, unless you have.
Nah, people watching Bulls games. Them games be full.
No,
unfortunately, Chicago fans are too loyal. It don't matter how terrible the teams are. We still support. We still showing up.
He was talking about the lack of.
I mean,
Bulls have a contract with local network. DirecTV.
Yeah, DirecTV is the only one with the CHGO channel.
Yeah.
Bulls got to do better.
I don't think most Chicagoans have CHGO, to Q's point. For me, Christmas, I'm sorry. If football's on TV, I'm always going to choose football. I'm going to be a sports junkie and do my Grinch thing. Don't bother me. Sports is on. Don't call me. Football is on. As we always do, good, bad, ugly. Let's kick off the good vibes. What were the goods from the 31-17 loss for the Chicago Bears, Tiff?
I mean, there was a great throw and catch by Caleb, the touchdown to Keenan at the end of the first half. That was a great play. We had touchdowns on back-to-back drives. That was great plays. And then that 4th and 1, the throw and catch to Rome, that was a great play. So those were a few of the specific good plays in the game. But overall, again, for the 200th week in a row, it wasn't much good. Like, it never really felt like we were in the game. You know what? I want to say this about the Lions. For my whole life, even though they're division rivals, I never really disliked the Lions because it was like, oh, poor Lions. You know what I'm saying? And even when they started being good, I was kind of happy for them. Like, okay, they finally got the foot. But you know what? Lions fans are really getting really past annoying. It's like, pump your brakes. Y'all haven't won shit yet. Like, but they're talking like they're Kansas City. And so now I got disdain for the Lions. And you know, like Ross St. Brown celebrate. Although he does his thing, you can't hate on him. The celebrations and all that. Now I'm ready for next season when we whoop their ass. Because the Lions, it's over the, pitying Detroit. Like they're a little too high and mighty to have not achieved anything substantial yet. So I will put that. They were annoying me, and I will put that put a little more battery in my back of why we couldn't do shit against them. At least on Thanksgiving, we were hanging with them at some point in the game. This never really felt like the game was within our reach, honestly.
You know, a great philosopher once said, the oppressed almost always become the oppressors. And that's what Lions fans are like. We tried rooting for them, and they've turned around and done nothing but been ungrateful, narcissistic, and egotistical. And to Tip's point, y'all didn't win nothing. Like, last time I seen the Lions maybe have a decent playoff contending team for any stretch was the early 90s, early to mid 90s, when they would get their 9-10 wins and get bounced out in the first round. Like, I can't wait for the Lions to lose in these NFC playoffs. So unfortunately, I've got to deal with Lions, Vikings, and Packers fans inside the NFC North playoffs. And not NFC North playoffs, in the NFC playoffs, and all three are our North rivals. Like, the Bears really let us down. This is awesome.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that. The Lions and their fans, they're gonna do what they do. I really don't care. I really don't care if you doing your big, celebrate it, because they don't come around too often. Especially if you're a Lions fan. Especially if you're a Detroit sports fan in general, you better live it up, because you may have another 35 years to wait for the next time.
Yeah, live it up, but don't be talking like you Kansas City, like you just perennial. Like, bro, you've strung a couple okay seasons together. Last year, you didn't end up doing shit. I predict that they won't end up doing shit again this year. I could be wrong, but hey, it's like, at least get you one, or at least get to the Super Bowl before you popping your shit as hard as they're popping it. They're not just excited and happy for their team. They're popping their shit a little too much for but hey, I guess.
That's what they do in Detroit. They pop shit and pills. Q.
And drink it in their water, apparently. Water like full of
blickies. They pop blickies as well.
They can't drink their water up there, Q.
They can't drink their water. Okay.
Q, what was the best thing from this loss to Detroit?
I like to see Caleb in Rome, even though Rome had 2 fumbles. I like to see small things in their development. The 4th and 1 was big. Rome high-pointed that ball. It didn't have a lot of separation. And one of the criticisms of Caleb has been that he doesn't, make tight window throws or throw it up to give his receiver a chance to make a play. And he did just that. So at this point of the season, when it just looks like guys are either mailing it in or just aren't as focused as they were in the early season, I like to see the continued development of guys that will definitely be here next year. So even though Rome had a couple fumbles, one of them was where he was fighting hard for extra yards, which, if you're not a running back, get down. I hate to see tight ends and wide receivers fight for extra yards, because it almost never ends well. It ends up with them getting fumbled or with their legs getting rolled up from behind. It's just, I'd rather see they don't have to do the Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce thing where they catch the ball and fall down or slide before anybody gets within 3 yards. But generally speaking, if you're a wide receiver, I can see you trying to break one tackle, but don't fight for the extra yard because he went there and just got ripped. But the continued development of Rome Odunze, who I predict will take a bigger role next season, I don't believe Keenan Allen will be back. So it was great to see them get their chemistry. Caleb throw a ball into tight coverage and give his player, Rome, a 6'3", 220-pound guy, a chance to make a play. That's one thing I want to see Caleb do, trust guys to win 50-50 balls. So that is the good that I saw from the game.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the criticism. I don't know if that's the knock on Caleb. I think that's your knock on Caleb because you were trying to win me over to that argument a few episodes back. And I'm watching the games, and I'm watching the games more than once. He's putting the ball in the tight windows. He may not throw it up for like 50-50 chances, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when he has to try to like squeeze it in somewhere, he takes that opportunity. He's just been, no one catches it, which is a perfect pass because you got to throw the ball where only one person can catch it. If that one person can't catch it, no one can catch it.
Well, hey, to that point, when I made that assessment of Caleb, that was about 3 games ago, and I'm not the only one that has made that assessment. So it's not just me. I noticed that, and I think Jonathan Vilbel also said the same thing, and as did Kurt Warner. I think with the Bears having such a bad season, there is, and the quarterback being the number 1 pick, there is a hyper analysis on everything he does. To your point, I think Caleb has evolved throughout the entire year. This is not the Caleb I saw week 15 is not the guy from week 1, is not the guy from week 5, it's not even the guy from week 10. So we've seen him evolve slowly, and that comes with every young quarterback. So yes, he is taking more chances. I also think Caleb has the tendency to draw unfair criticism. I mean, it's crazy that even his interception streak is getting criticized. It's like people almost feel like they want him to throw an interception. Like they're almost trying to.
Man, I don't know if this is y'all trying to bait me or what. Like, it's not that people are
stay in the water, swim. Don't bite the hook. Don't bite the hook. What happens to the fish that bite the hook? Okay, come on in the boat. You know what?
It's not that people are criticizing him not throwing picks. No one wants to see a QB throw picks. But at the same time, if you aren't throwing a pick and you instead taking a 30-yard sack, are we supposed to be happy about that? Like, you guys act like he's not throwing picks because everything is perfect. All people are saying is at some point, either you got to throw into those tight windows, which he may not always do, or you have to throw it away. Because we can recognize there are opportunities, even though he's not throwing picks, every single time we get in field goal range, I'll be like, man, if he gets sacked and we get pushed out of field goal range. And it happens several times every game. So let's not act like people are solely saying, oh my God, why is he not throwing picks? That's crazy. They're saying maybe he needs to, be a little more decisive. Hey, he can't take sacks. He's got to have that situational awareness, which we've said about the whole team this whole season. And I don't think he takes unfair criticism. Like I said at the start of before the season started, he is the number 1 pick. He was hailed as the next coming of everything, whether he wanted that or not. That's the burden that was on his back. And like it or not, he's not performed up to that standard along with the team. And other QBs in that draft, y'all can act how you want. Right now, other QBs from that draft are performing better than he is. You can sit there and make that face all you want to. So Jaden Daniels isn't performing better than Caleb? Knock it off, man. Y'all full of it. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, well, we can keep losing with a quarterback who's not throwing sacks then. That's what's up. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
sit here and act like
there was an example of the hyper-criticism just there. You said several times a game he gets sacked in field goal range. I think that's happened a couple times. I don't think it happens every single game. He only took 2 sacks.
It doesn't happen at least once.
We're not even in field goal range that often for him.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all have it. You're right.
He only got sacked twice last game.
Right. He's done everything perfectly. He's about to win Rookie of the Year.
No one said he's done everything perfectly.
You're right. He's been perfect this season. He's the best quarterback in the draft by far. We know that for a fact. He's been perfect. Rookie of the year. Give it to him right now. That's what's up.
You calm down, Tiff. Calm down. Relax.
I'm just saying, y'all don't be realistic about him. He's had an okay season. He's had ups and downs, which is to be expected. Has he lived up to what the hype was? Yes or no? I don't want to hear no explanation. I want a yes or no.
Yes.
You're a
definitively.
Liar.
Definitively.
Q? So at the beginning hold on. Let me go back to Vince. So at the beginning of the season, what did you predict? Did you predict he was going to be rookie of the year, or yes or no?
I did.
Okay. Is he going to be rookie of the year?
No, he won't be.
So has he lived up to that expectation you had?
Not that expectation.
Okay, okay. Let me go on the Q. Yes or no? Has he lived up to the expectations of whomever? You, the way he was hyped to be, Bears fans in general. Has he lived up to any of those expectations thus far?
That is a layered question that you want me to answer.
It's not a layer. It's not a layered question. This is a straw man argument, but I'm gonna let her finish.
It's not. I'm asking you a yes or no. Has he lived up to your expectations personally? Q. That's a different question. Your personal expectations.
But see, his expectations are not only tied to him as an individual; they are tied to the team.
All I'm talking about is him individually. I'm not saying the team. We know the team has not lived up to expectations. I'm saying
I understand that, but we know that quarterback performance is often graded and tied to the team. Statistically, if you would have told me we'd be sitting here in week 15, week 16, and Caleb would have thrown for 3,200 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, completing 63% of his passes, I'd have said he did exactly what he was supposed to do. I'd have said he's having a great year. However, like I said, it's all quarterback success is always going to be tied to team success. So if you ask me, has he lived up to expectations? You really can't judge quarterbacks solely on statistics, or that's just the way we've done. It's become a race society. So I would say, of course, I would say no.
Top to bottom, right? You watched from your opinion, watching the games, stats and all that aside, you watching the games, every single one of them. I'm just asking. I don't know why this is a difficult question. Has he lived up to your personal expectations that you had at the start of the season? That's a yes or no question.
Yes, because I didn't set unrealistic expectations. I didn't expect him to come in and.
Did you say he was going to be rookie of the year? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Is he going to be rookie of the year?
No. But however, if we didn't have those coaching gaps and they win 4 games that they didn't blow, he's in it. Or if they're a 9 or 10 win team, he's in it. The difference between Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and Jaden Daniels, who Jaden Daniels probably pulled into as the favorite, is the wins or losses, because the narrative is built in that. Jaden threw a critical interception, a bad interception.
And he threw
against the Eagles yesterday.
Too, right?
Yeah, because Devontae Smith dropped 8 passes.
Okay.
Sometimes better. And that builds in a narrative. Now he has a 5-touchdown game with 2 picks, but he has the game winner. He also had the Hail Mary against the Bears. If Tyreek Stevenson isn't being a jackass and Eberflus gets his head sent out of his ass, we win those games. Jaden doesn't have that narrative. The narrative is Caleb wins the rookie showdown and led the Bears to a comeback in the last respect of the fourth quarter. So when you talk about expectations, they're going to be tied in to the quarterback window. I guarantee you, if Jaden Daniels is sitting here at 6-9 right now, you all aren't declaring him the next Lamar Jackson or putting him in the MVP race or declaring him as having a definitively better season than Caleb Williams.
You know that feeling when you're at Ross and you find the best gifts for way less? Like brand name sweaters, the coolest kids' toys, and plush dog beds? Get that feeling with every gift and save 20 to 60% off other retailers' prices. At Ross, yes, for less.
We can move on, y'all, because, I mean, it is what it is.
I'm fine with that.
I hope he is the best quarterback in this draft, and I hope we start seeing it from.
I mean, you don't have to hope. He is the best quarterback in this class, and when we look back in 3 years, he will be.
I can't wait till the wins show it. And I'm not just taking it from the wins. I've watched every game too. I'm talking about his performances in the games too. I'm not just talking about wins and losses.
I know.
So, if y'all think he's played the best, that's what's up.
My good was the last two drives of the first half. So specifically, my goods were the last two drives from the Chicago Bears in the first half. So the Bears, after being offense agnostic for the whole first quarter and majority of the second quarter, they figured out a way to have a 18-play drive. They spanned 80 yards in 6 minutes, ending with a touchdown pass to Cole Kmet. Remember him? We forgot he was on the squad. That was amazing. It would have been better if we didn't give up a 14-play drive right back to Detroit. But this is about the offense and the defense. We'll talk about the defense in a minute. The Bears get the ball back with under a minute left. Caleb Williams, you all talk about him not being able to put anything in the tight windows. Yeah, this pass to DJ down the middle of the field was a tight window. He threw it perfectly over the linebackers and right in front of the safeties. Cover two. You put it right where you're supposed to put it. Now, we've seen him do this before. Remember the end of the Minnesota Vikings game? He can do this. He got this in his bag. Perfect pass to DJ Moore. Set up the 45-yard touchdown pass, which, again, perfect pass to Keenan Allen, who broke your boy Terrion Arnold's ankles right there, Tiff. Broke his ankles up, routed him up real nice, and took that ball to the house. You saw the enthusiasm for everybody on the squad, especially Caleb Williams. We talk about Caleb Williams' demeanor when things aren't going right. And a lot of times, I challenge everybody to see how to keep their demeanor straight if they're getting bounced around the way Caleb's getting bounced off the pavement. So that's my good. Those two touchdowns and back-to-back drives for the Chicago Bears. I'm going to use the bell and jingling off to Tiffany's hat as the official bell to move to our next segment. Our bads. Tiff, what was that bad from this game?
To Caleb. Give the bad to Caleb.
No, I'm not saying that. I have nothing else to say about him. The fumbles. Those two fumbles were terrible. They really kind of just dampened the mood, especially on the drive where we were moving the ball. A couple plays that were positive. Even Rome's play was really positive. And like you said, he tried to fight for those extra yards. They pulled the ball out. After that, it was really no coming back. So the fumbles were definitely bad.
I'm watching the All-22 right now in the background, and I'm still undecided on who I should want to give that first fumble to, right? So
I can tell, yeah.
I see Rome. I see Rome doesn't have his arms in the correct position to receive that ball.
He's a wide receiver. That's the problem with handing the ball off to not a running back. They don't know how to make the pocket. Running back, you coach get that elbow high and make a pocket for the quarterback.
Typically, 9 times out of 10, you would give the blame right to that player who didn't put their hands in correctly. He didn't create that pocket. However, you can also see if you slow it down, you can also see Caleb. It looks like trying to pull the ball back out for in an RPO action. So
I was undecided about who to give it to either, but Jonathan Vilma seemed to be dead set that was Rome's fault. So I was like, all right, I didn't want to pile on Caleb, so I was going to put both of them on Rome.
Well, statistically, I think it's going to be Rome's fumble. Statistically, it's going to be a Rome's fumble, but it's statistically. They did put it on Caleb? Okay. I mean, I've never seen or rarely seen RPOs come on reverses, wide receiver reverses. So that's kind of a strange thing too. So I don't know what was going on with Caleb in the call, but you usually fake the wide receiver reverse, not actually do the RPO action with it. I just think that's dangerous to do with that with the call.
So segue right into your bad. Q, what was your bad from the game?
Tired of sounding like a broken record. What was supposed to be and what was the strongest unit we had that we were going to lean on has just become a walking 30 piece. Sometimes defenses get tired of carrying the burden of a bad offense, and that's fair, but that's not even happening right now because you're giving up touchdowns on opening drive. You're giving up lengthy drives to start the game. You're not setting the tone, and there's a lot of money placed on that side of the ball, and there's a lot of big-time performers that just like Kevin Burr said he doesn't think they're quitting on the team. And I don't really think there's a whole lot of quits, but there's definitely a lack of focus. There's definitely a lack of intensity, and there's a lack of energy. And one thing about defense, if you played or coached, you got to have intensity, energy, and focus to play defense. Like you can't be a calm collective. The defense is rah-rah, rally to the ball, hype each other up. That's just not happening on this defense.
The defense would have given up a score on every drive in the first half if it wasn't for the Detroit Lions getting the ball back with 30 seconds left, and they couldn't get down to field to put it in the end zone again. They almost scored. They had a field goal attempt. It was just a little left. So I agree with you, Q. The defense has been, ever since Eberflus was escorted out the building, the defense ain't been what it's supposed to be. Right?
Have they held anybody under 30 since Eberflus was left?
No, they haven't. They've given up 30, 38, and 34 those 3 games.
30. And I think we talked in the pregame. You asked me, would the Bears hold them under 30? I said Detroit would easily score 30. The Bears defense walks on the field and there's 30 points.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud. Help! Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
I actually they'll hold Seattle on the 30 in a couple of days.
Nobody knows.
Oh no, I definitely don't think they will, because this will be their third. Based on anything, not taking off anything of that how they've played, but this will be their third game in 11 games. So I expect them to give up 30 just off that alone.
Point, what they care? Shit, they out there getting burned, embarrassed on national TV every time we play. What do they care?
And that's
they take care. Their jobs are at stake. At the end of the day, you're accountable as the individual for what you put on film. And the NFL is a very pretentious job as a player. You can be a decent starter next year and be sitting in August hoping your agent can find you some place to play the next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that lead right into my bad. Q, you said defense, and I had that on my list as well, but I'm gonna be a little bit more hyper specific. Trayvon Edmonds.
Where's he been at?
Me and you are going to go through the tape this offseason and have special all 22 episodes.
I can't wait.
And that's one of the things I'll be focused on. Remains tape. I'm gonna be focused right on that. I want to know.
The last few weeks I've been busy. I haven't been able to dive into all 22, but watching the games live, there's just not the splash plays coming from Edmonds. There's not disruptive plays, tackling running backs in the backfield from Edmonds. This is a guy that's paid to do both. I don't know if he has a stop behind the line of scrimmage in the last 6 or 7 weeks. That's very disturbing for a middle linebacker.
A middle linebacker that was paid to replace Roquan Smith. I'm sorry.
A guy who made a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. And Roquan was on some Bears defenses that weren't that talented, and he was still shining. So I'm not going with the Tremaine Edmonds doesn't have a great pass around. Because even in that 2021 season, I think Roquan's final season here, when he was traded mid-season, right?
Mid-season.
Roquan was making a lot of plays on a bad defense. And he was making plays behind the line of scrimmage and at the line of scrimmage, stopping backs before they get a head full of steam and get into the second level. Something Tremaine has not been doing.
Yeah. So, yeah, me and you are going to get into that's going to be our off-season homework. We're going to get into that because I want to know in depth why he can't ever shed any blocks, why are tight ends always running around free in his zone. I got to know. I got to know what type of regression is going on from that position. As you said, the defense has been trashed the last 3 weeks and mostly the last half of the season. And I don't want to say it because I want to pay hyper close attention to it. But maybe the issue can be drilled down into one very important player on that defense, the green dot.
Yeah.
The other hyper specific person I want to focus in on the defense in my bad take, the best player on the team, Jalen Johnson.
Yep.
Coming out of halftime, the HNIC Thomas Brown, he said that his message to the team during halftime was to stop with the penalties. We had 10 in the game total. I think we had 5 in the first half. 6 in the first half. That was the message of the team, stop with the penalties. The first drive of the second half, Jalen Johnson got an unsportsmanlike penalty. Put the Lions right there on the 20-yard line, and they scored the next play. And you know exactly what play I'm talking about. That was that Fumblerooski that I'm going to talk about.
Fumblerooski dude. I hate that commercial. I hate that commercial. I hate looking at Andy Reid's face. I hate looking at his mustache. I hate when he says nugget because it just seems like he's going to make a mistake. Non-melanated people, don't say nuggies. All right? Don't ask me for no nuggies. I'm going to take offense. We're going to fight. Don't call them nuggies. They're chicken nuggets.
Right. They're nuggets. Say nuggets.
They're nuggets. Don't call them nuggies because you're trying to be playing in my face, trying to be slick. And I ain't no damn nugget. Don't call me a nugget either. And I ain't your nugget. And I ain't a nugget. I don't care if you take the hard ER off it. Don't call me no nugget.
I'm going to talk about that in our next segment. Very much so. That Fumblerooski. Maybe Thomas Brown wasn't clear in his cut the crap message during halftime. Maybe Jalen relapsed and his addiction flared up during halftime. I don't know. Jalen zoned out and ain't even hear all that. I mean, I think we all got a little ADD in us because all the stimuli available to us. So I'm not throwing any shade, but the team needs to be more focused.
Definitely.
The team needs to be more focused, and that starts with the best player on the team. Keep OnlyFans only in the offseason, bro. And no, I don't want to make an anthill into a mountain, but it is emblematic of this team's central issue: lack of leadership. There's a bunch of things that need correcting. And they won't even begin to get fixed until someone decides to play Raheem from Juice. Someone needs to get up in the room amidst all the chaos, knock it over your mom's vases and stuff, and yell out "stop" and course correct. The Hail Mary should have been an inflection point for this team, for someone to step up and put themselves in that position, but it continues to be null and void. Jalen, cut the crap.
Yeah, my thing, I done gave Jalen the cut the crap award several times this season. So I'm gonna be light on my commenting, but it goes back to the same way I felt about most of the team for the latter half of the season. You talk this big shit, you the best, all this shit, but when it come down on the field, y'all out here undisciplined, getting penalties, and you the main one calling out Eberflus, not saying he shouldn't have been called out.
Thank you.
Why are you not calling out yourself? Why are you not calling out each other? We got all this talking about who's to blame, the coach is to blame, this to blame, but you can't
even won a game since he got rid of Eberflus.
Stupid penalty. The penalty wasn't even worth it. So it's like, that's what I'm sick of with this team. You can get on the internet and say whatever, and that's cool if you're backing it up. But when you're not backing it up and you're making goofy decisions in the game that are really penalizing us, then that's where everybody's sick of the shit. Like, it's like, cut the crap, man. Hold yourself to the same standard that you're barking at everybody else is all we ask.
Hey, after week 1 in 2023, during a game review, after we embarrassed ourselves in the 3:00 game against the Packers, we're totally unprepared. Let them out execute, let them out physical us, let them dance on our field, our biggest rival. We heard Jaquan Brisker say, maybe we were sipping the Kool-Aid too much or thought we were better than what we were. I don't see how these Bears continue to think that they're a certain level of team when the last 4 years the win total reads as follows: 4, and I can't say counting because I don't think you're going to beat Seattle, Green Bay, or Detroit unless Green Bay has nothing to play for in the last game, unless Detroit has nothing to play for in the second to last game. You're not beating those teams. The previous year it was a 7-win team. The year before that, a 3-win team. The year before that, a 6-win team. I heard Jaquan Brisker say, he's tired of us talking about how good we are. Now we got to show it. I don't know why this team feels they're on a level they're not. I know what my ugly is now, but yeah, to Tiff's point, there's a lot of talking, a lot of finger pointing. Jalen had his tirade of Eberflus in the locker room. You got Eberflus spot. To me, that's when you're supposed to show out. Look, you was to blame, and I'm gonna show everybody. Jalen's been pretty quiet the last few games since Eberflus has gone, and has gotten beat in coverage a few times. And not to say every cornerback's going to get beat. I just don't. I'll leave that for the ugly.
Next segment. Tiff, I know you said you promised the ugliest thing from yesterday wouldn't be Caleb Williams. So what will it be? I'm truly cannot wait to hear.
It's not gonna be the best QB in the draft by far. How could that? What?
Oh my God! Here you go. Here you go, gaslighting us.
I don't know. No. I could never.
Here you go. I don't think nobody said by far. No one said he's perfect.
You can do no wrong, Caleb. It's okay. You can do no. And when you do mess up, it's everyone else's fault. Don't worry about it, son. But my ugly is going to be a little bit off the path. And I just thought it was an interesting comment. The most interesting things in the games is listening to the announcers because we don't be doing shit. And at one point, Jonathan Vilma was talking about how we don't have anybody to help DeAndre Swift. And I think that's very rich because we started this season with 250 running backs. And now if you think about it.
DeAndre needs to help himself.
Well, no, he was saying to spell him. He was like, when they're not giving the ball to Swift, they trying to give the shit to DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? He was saying it like they don't really have another backup running back option to Swift. And these past few games, we haven't really seen anybody but DJ trying to run the ball randomly.
Roschon is back.
Yeah, I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking that's rich because we love piling up on positions. We started the season with 50-11 running backs, and now do we have more than one that we're even utilizing? And the honest answer is no. Besides Swift, who else are we really utilizing? So it's like, again, that goes back to Ryan Poles and the ugly of this team just being built it's like a paper mache house. Like it looks good on paper. Like, whoa, we got these offensive players there. But when you get to the structure of what really helps a team win, the O-line, damn, that's another ugly, but I ain't going to take that because one of you will probably say that. When you get to the structure of what really helps a team win, we don't have it. So I just thought that was a comment that had me thinking like, yeah, we really don't have no other running backs that we're using to any kind of usage besides Swift. Like we may hand the ball off to DJ here and there and try some trick plays and stuff, but besides Swift, we're not giving Johnson no go. Like, I don't know. It just, that comment made me think like, damn, man, Poles strikes again.
Yeah, Roschon only had one carry.
Yeah, he got rid of Herbert, like, I don't know. It's just been a catastrophe.
And in that defense to that, Roschon was coming back from a multi-game absence from a concussion, but one carry, it seems it's kind of wild.
Out of snaps either.
To that point, I don't think we've really run the ball a lot ever since Thomas Brown took over as HNIC, right? I think we've decided that we're going to lean into the pass. Maybe that's because we're always down going into halftime. We're multiple scores down because we can never score in the first half. Q, what was the ugliest thing from this loss on Sunday?
I kind of alluded to it in my bad, and I alluded to it in the previous week. Those guys wearing the C on their jersey, you got to set better examples. I don't like the body language. I don't like the tone. I don't like the intensity. I don't see any energy out of Jalen Johnson is wearing the C. Tremaine Edmonds is a green dot. I don't think Kevin Byard has a C, but he might have a C. But he's a veteran, leader who's been to multiple playoff teams. I'm just not seeing the leadership. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Caleb Williams wears a C too. This might shock Tiffany, but one of the things I don't like about Caleb, and I get it, is the body language. You after a sack, you're just laying there looking defeated. I know it might seem like I'm nitpicking, but you're the quarterback. You're the most important guy on the offense. You set the tone. Displaying high levels of frustration, head down, chin up, young fella. You know what I'm saying? Get out there, get the next play. This is the blessing. You were the number one pick. Maybe things haven't gone the way you wanted them, but you were the number one pick. You're highly paid. You're playing a sport. You're in the spotlight. Every game you're improving. This season is a wash, but take advantage of this. Build something with your teammates. DJ Moore also wearing a C. Terrible body language, in the Texas game, laying on the ground after an incomplete pass, getting frustrated, ripping your chin straps off your helmet, ripping your helmet off. It's just been poor leadership from the leaders on the team. And that is indicative of a lot of bad teams. You look at leadership or lack thereof. And on the Bears, my ugliest is the leadership. The body language. Jalen Johnson, to get back on that point, you rallied the locker room against Matt Eberflus. The defense rallied against him. Cole Kmet has spoken out against maybe players not being focused. Kevin Byard echoed that. And then you get out there, you get rid of Eberflus and Waldron, and nothing has gotten better.
Gotten way worse.
You're running out of people to blame. The accountability has to be there. I understand you got an interim coach, but we've seen teams win with interim coach. At least make the games close. Since Eberflus has left, you've lost by more than one score in every single game, and you weren't necessarily. It wasn't necessarily close. None of the games have been close. They've been over by halftime, pretty much. Now, Eberflus, say what you want about him. The day he got fired in a one-loss game to possibly the best team in the NFC. So I'm not.
We had several, very close losses in a row. Yes.
Eberflus should have been fired. I said last year that he shouldn't be brought back. He was brought back, but you're looking worse without him.
You're looking worse without him, like you said, when there was a little bit of a mutiny. So after that, you and it's not even that they're losing. They look like they ready to wrap the season up, B. Like you might see some enthusiasm here or there, but they look like we done folded it up. We ready to go to Mexico. If they came out there and they really looked like they were fighting, like I watched the game, last night. Dallas don't have nothing to play for, and they were out there actually playing. They wanted to win, and they're down their quarterback. They're down all these different positions. But they still look like they wanted to win, and they actually came out with a dub. If we were out there playing that hard, even if we lost, I would feel a little bit better about it. But it's like we said, the whole season, nobody's really showed heart and leadership. And we put that on Eberflus. We put that on this person, that. And, now those people are no longer there to say there's no leadership. Where are the players stepping up to be those legal? Where are the players on the sideline cussing out whoever needs to be cussed out or getting them in line? You see that with teams. We don't have that. They go sit and pout or, don't talk to each other or whatever. So it's like if they make a good play, they might be on the sideline celebrating with each other, happy. But as soon as things aren't going their way, there's no fire. It's just here it is again. We're going to lose again. oh, well, and everybody then packed it up. So it's like, I don't know what coaching staff we need to get in there, but there is going to have to be a culture change, because this year is the first year I've in a while that I felt like the culture was horrible. Even when our teams were bad the last few years, I felt like the culture and the team stuck together and they were really, really trying. This year from the jump, the culture, maybe, I don't know if it was Hard Knocks being there. I don't know what it was, but this year, the whole year, the culture has felt terrible.
It's awful. And even not just cussing out a teammate or getting on them when they make a mistake, but building them up, get on the sideline, coaching them up. It just seems like there's not that togetherness. There's not that unity on the field. I mean, I get you're losing, but like to your point, yeah, Dallas was fighting. Dallas came out and their intensity level, you could feel it. It seemed they knew before the game that they were eliminated, but they played like they had something on the line. CeeDee Lamb, shoulder hurt and all, probably gonna need surgery or at least extensive rehab in the offseason. He's out there fighting. He's taking hits on the shoulder. Cooper Rush, is out there making plays. I mean, the defense was flying around. Yeah, it's just disturbing. And the thing is, I don't know if these guys are aware, even the guys on the contract. If Poles is out of here, which is a very strong possibility, everybody's job is on the line and everybody's getting a thorough evaluation in the offseason. Because when a new GM and new coach come in, none of you guys are their guys. And that's even for Caleb. You do get the feeling that if a new coach comes in, he's going to be, pro Caleb, because you probably wouldn't accept the job of a quarterback coming into his second year unless you highly believed in a quarterback, because you're kind of hitched to them, due to the contract and due to the organization. They're going to give Caleb at least 3 years. But everybody's going to be under intense scrutiny. Nobody's job is going to be safe. I mean, everything's going to change with a new coaching staff coming in anyways, but if a new GM comes in, you're really in trouble. New GMs come in, and it's not unusual for them to turn over half of the roster in the offseason.
Say it for the last 30 minutes. Leadership, the culture, everything needs a thorough scrubbing this offseason. And to that point, it's not like when DJ Moore said, talking about vacation a week or so back. Everything doesn't stop after week 18, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be on nine straight losses, right? One thing can snowball and carry on. Somebody has to say stop right now and not let it carry on to next year. Like that Hail Mary loss should not have carried on 2 more months. So I don't know who's going to be the man to step up in that locker room or in that organization, but someone needs to do it. I'm going to go to my ugly. Since no one said it, I've got 2. Fumblerooski
do.
Ben Johnson, you know what?
Say it, Tiff.
If you're not the next head coach for the Bears, I'm going to start practicing voodoo, and I'm going to shoot a staple gun at your doll repeatedly, because I don't know who you think you are with these trick plays. The first time the Bears played the Lions, he tried to have Penei Sewell throw a pass for them. The fuck? And then this game, he perfectly execute a Fumblerooski that leads to a long touchdown for Sam Laporta, which I appreciate it because he's on one of my fantasy teams. I'm going into the championship. I'm not mad at it. But as far as a Bears fan, I looked at my defense. I'm like, seriously, guys? And this is a play after the Jalen Johnson flag. So like we talked about, things snowballing. You let that flag lead into everybody being off balance. I'm looking at you, Green Dot. Everybody's got their eyes in the backfield because Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs, they sold it. They should get Academy Awards. But no one seems to be interested in why Sam Laporta is dragging across the field and then beating Tyreek Stevenson. Yeah, Tyreek Stevenson up the sideline to be wide open in the back of the end zone. I don't know. Nobody's paying attention, right? No one's calling out anything. That's on the guys. That's on Tremaine Edmonds. That's on Kevin Byard in the defensive secondary. That was incredibly ugly for me. That's how you start a second half. You ended the first half scoring back-to-back touchdowns. You might have a little momentum going, but you start the second half like that, giving up 6 scores and 7 drives. Terrible. And it's, again, that's our season. My second ugly. Tiff reminded me, the offensive line. The offensive line looked pretty good, right?
But then again, Detroit doesn't have a lot of pass rushing help right now.
No, they don't. They looked pretty good in spite of some other things that I'm going to talk about in a second. This is the type of Caleb that you like to see with a clean pocket, that type of stuff. Like it looked decent, but like you said, Q, Detroit, in spite of a lot of defensive injuries that they have, the offensive line did not play bad. What's bad about the offensive line is that we benched Kareem Amagaji before a game. Told him he's not going to dress. And then Tevin Jenkins is limping pregame. Why is Tevin? If Tevin Jenkins is hurt, why do we even play him? Obviously, you know what Tevin does. Tevin gets hurt in the middle of the game. And we come to find out he was hurt all week. What was the point of it? Why did you bench a guy who could a 3rd round pick, mind you? Why you bench him and then play a guy who's hurt? That's a question that I need answered, because that sounds like that sounds like workplace malfeasance, to be honest with you. Somebody need to call OSHA. Someone need to call OSHA on the Bears. That makes no sense.
At this point, everybody banged up though. Buddy had such a bad game last week. Yale guy. I can't fault him for pulling him on that one. And everybody's banged up. So unless they really knew Tevin was like hurt, I don't know if I can blame. Listen, our O-line is on a thread, okay? I can't blame him for pulling Yale guy, because shit, he was in there, he wasn't in there. It wasn't no difference last game. What difference did we think it was going to be this game?
After Yale guy, in a season like this, you want to be developing players. If your 3rd round pick is too bad to even get on the field, that's bad. Yeah. That's bad. I mean, teams are playing 5th rounders that are effective. I mean, look at the Buccaneers and Giants. They got Bucky Irvin and Tyrone Tracy making huge impacts. Those guys are 5th round picks. So I mean, it's Jalen McMillan is a 3rd round pick for the Buccaneers, making an impact.
Yeah. Our boy Poles in his terrible drafting. So
if our 3rd rounder can't even be on the field, I understand there's this thing as player development. He was sort of a project, but if he can't even be on the field when we're beat up and injured at the end of the season with nothing to play for, that's not boding well. And add to the fact that he came in unable to participate in OTAs because he was still hurt from last year. This is just looking like a big bad idea. You draft a project in a 3rd round from Yale who's coming into the season hurt.
For over 50 years, Burlington's legacy has been great deals on coats for all weather conditions. So before you're caught unprepared for the winter weather, head to Burlington for name brands, quality items, and surprising fits for every family member. Stock up on coats, sweaters, and accessories before the cold hits, so you can finally stop avoiding the elements and start living comfortably. Warm up at your nearest Burlington location less than 1 mile away. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow.
Good thing he has that degree from Yale.
Right. Go do some rocket science or something somewhere, bro.
Join the Dr. Ian Willer. They can be really smart. They might not be really good football players, but they're extremely smart. And I love that for them. I love black excellence.
We love that for them. We love black excellence. We just need an O-line that can be excellent at being O-liney. We need an O-lining O-line. Like, hey, we love the smarts. That's what's up.
I love education.
Hats off to you, bro. But no more Ivy League for a while.
I love melanated people being educated, but I don't love melanated people that can't play football playing for my team.
No, we don't care for that. We've had enough of that over the years. We want some people that know and want to play football. We need that desire too, because there's a lot of people with skills that, you know, may quit on the team or don't want to play anymore. We want somebody with some fire and some skill. Let's find that synergy. That's the energy we need for next season, all around, from the top down.
I'll even take a meathead like Jameson Williams, who, for the life of me, I can't understand why he continues to get baited into personal by Stevenson. Those two belong with each other. Those guys,
him and Tyreek,
they should be best friends. Tyreek,
they should be like stepbrothers.
I don't see why those two are fighting and going at each other every game. You all are twins. I'm sure they both were in the slow class, because. Man, I'm not going to get back on Tyreek and Jameson Williams right now, but those two, they should be best friends.
I said it earlier, man. We damn near all of us got ADD in some way, shape, or fashion.
You don't speak for me, sir.
No. That Q, you have the other one. You have ADHD.
No,
yes,
I am not on the spectrum with you. You will handle that burden by yourself. I rebuke you. I do not have ADHD or ADD or Asperger's or anything else on that spectrum. That is yours and yours alone.
I keep it to myself.
I wish you all a happy Kwanzaa, happy Merry Christmas. What's the other one?
Hanukkah? Chanukah.
Happy Hanukkah. That too. Y'all enjoy.
Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.